Hey guys, Carl Sorensen, sitesforcontractors.com. It's been a few months since I've done any videos on digital marketing for contractors, and like most of you, I had a pretty busy summer, so I just didn't have time to record and edit videos. So here I am today with another video coming at you. Today we're going to talk about 10 reasons why your website isn't your number one generator of new clients. Or another way we could put this is 10 mistakes most contractors make with their websites that prevent them from getting any kind of results. So this will just be a quick overview video. I'll go through the 10 points, and then I'll have a companion blog post down in the description. I'll link to it where you can get a little bit more detail on each one of the topics that I'll talk about. So with that said, let's get into the list. So sorry for the bumpiness of the camera. I'm just going on a hike here, getting in shape for hunting season, and I got a 60-pound pack on. It's not light by any means, and it's a bit of a pain in the ass to walk up this hill with. But anyways, let's get to number one on my list. 10 mistakes that most contractors are making with their websites that prevent them from getting any kind of results. So the first mistake that I see contractors making with their website is not mobile friendly or mobile responsive. The second mistake that I see a lot of contractors make with their website is they have poorly written or poorly implemented meta tags. And I'll get into what meta tags are and how you can fix that in the companion blog post. Number three, the third thing, is your website just doesn't have enough pages. And I see this all the time with contractor websites. They just don't have enough content on their site to rank well for any specific service they provide. So if you've got a website right now that's one of those rinky-dink little 5-page websites and you've paid a developer for something like that, you basically lit your money on fire, and you're probably going to have to either build out your website quite significantly, or if it hasn't been done properly at all, probably rebuild it. And I'll have more details about that in the companion blog post. So reason number 4 would be that your website has very poor quality photos of your work, or no photos of your work at all. If you're relying solely on stock photography or some really sketchy photos that you've taken on your own, it's time to fix that. And I'll get into that again in the companion blog post. So mistake number 5 would be having a website that just loads really slow. And with most of the visitors today, or a good percentage of them being on mobile devices, having a fast loading website is really important. There could be many different reasons why your website loads slow. It could be on a bloated website building platform. You could have a poor web host. You might have too many images that just aren't optimized properly. There could be a myriad of different reasons why your website is slow. But one of the tools that you can use to kind of figure out what's going on is the Google Page Speed Insights tool. And I'll link to that down in the written blog post. And that'll give you an idea of where the bottlenecks are on your website. And these aren't all really easy things to fix. Some of them you might have to go to your web developer for a little bit of help, and other items you might be able to fix on your own. But we'll discuss that down in the blog post. So the 6th reason why you might not be getting results from your website, or one of the bigger mistakes that a contractor makes with their website, is not having Google Analytics installed or Google Search Console set up. These are 2 very important tools that let you know what's happening with your website when people come to it. So what pages are popular, what keywords people are finding you for, how long they're spending on your website, where they're coming from. All of this data helps you build a better website, especially if you have a web developer that's looking at the data and they're making corrections and changes to the site as they see needed. So Google Analytics, Google Search Console, 2 important things that you want to have installed on your site. We'll talk more about that down in the blog post below. So number 7, this is not necessarily a reason why your website isn't generating clients for you, but it's an important one when we're talking about generating quality clients. And that's having a contact form on the website that asks detailed questions. So as a contractor dealing with prospects, you don't want people to phone you up and ask stupid questions. That's the last thing that you want. And you don't want to be responding to leads if they're not serious prospects. You break up your day, you give them a call, and they waste 10 minutes of your time because they didn't really know what they wanted and you didn't really know what they wanted. Some of that can be fixed by having a proper contact form on your website. And when I mean proper contact form, I mean asking them some pretty detailed questions. So name, email, phone number, obvious ones for contacting them. You also want to know their project street address, and you also want to know the neighborhood or the city that they're in, because sometimes if you have a big service area, there might be multiple streets with the same name, just in different areas of the city or in different suburbs. So you definitely want to get the city or town. You also want to get how they heard from you, So was it an internet, Facebook? Were they from a word of mouth referral, saw your trucks, they saw your trailers, that type of thing? And the last field that you want to have on your contact form is something that asks them for more details. So I usually put just tell me about your project. And you'd be amazed at the amount of information that a prospect will put in there. And that arms you for the call when you have to pick up the phone or respond to them via email. You have much more information about their project, what they're looking for, etc. So you can get right to the pointed questions when you make that phone call, and you don't have to beat around the bush so much. So that's an important factor to consider, and a mistake I often see made on contractor sites is the contact forms are just too basic. They don't ask for enough information. And another mistake that we see with contact forms on a contractor website is it's just not obvious where it is. Yeah, you might have a contact us button somewhere on the site that leads to a contact page, and you might think that that's really obvious, but it's not. The best thing to do on a contractor website is have a contact form on every single page of the site. No exceptions. Every single page of the site, you should have a contact form visible. I put them up high and to the right just so that people can see them very easily and they don't have to look around. So mistake number 8 that I see a lot of contractors make on their website is they don't have any schema markup installed or microdata. And schema markup is basically a standardized set of code that search engines use to learn more about your business. And you can implement schema on any website, and there's specific types of schema microdata that would be good for a contractor to have on their site. So for example, you can label yourself as a home and construction business, which is valuable for pretty much anybody in the contracting field that works on residential properties. So you can label yourself as a home and construction business. You can also add your contact details, your phone number, your methods of payment that you accept, the price range that you have. You can add your logo, a description of your services. You can even mark up your specific services with schema microdata. So this is an important part of having a well-optimized website, is implementing schema. And this is something that you probably have to have a web developer do for you, but I will include the basic schema code down in the description in the companion blog post. And this is just your basic local business schema that provides search engines with some of the most basic information about your business. So your business name, address, your phone number, your contact details, your social media links, your Google Map link, and that type of stuff. And you can just take the template I've provided and you can make your own changes to it. So you can add in your business details, and then you can copy and paste this into your own website, into the head section. And I'll get into that in a little more detail in the companion post so I don't gum up this video. So the 9th mistake that I see a lot of contractors make with their website is they don't clearly define their geographic service area. So as a local contractor, you probably don't provide services nationwide. So it's pretty important for you to be very specific about where you service. And this comes down to having specific pages for the counties, cities, or towns that you do business in is one way to do it. I prefer to do it that way. You can also have a services area page where you list out all the different service areas that you complete your services in or that you service, but it just helps Google know exactly where it is that you do business, and it also helps your prospects know when they're visiting your website, yeah, this guy does service my area, and then they're much more likely to contact you if they know that you provide services to them specifically. And number 10, this is the final mistake that we'll get into today. Trust me, this isn't the only one I see contractors making with their websites. There's a lot more we can add to this list, and I probably will in future videos. But number 10 is a lack of strong calls to action. Now, when you have a website for a local services company, you want people to take action on the site. It's no good if they just come and visit the site and then they leave. We want them to do something. And on a contractor's website, that do something is usually we want them to either request a consultation with you or request an estimate with you. So in order to get that done, we have to make sure that people know how to contact us. And when you're trying to make people contact you through a website, again, we just kind of hit on this a minute ago with the contact forms. It's not as simple as having a little link that says contact us. That might be obvious to you, and you might think it's obvious to a website visitor, but most website visitors have a very tiny attention span. So they're not going to look around your website for how to contact you. They want it to be obvious. Now, on all the sites that we produce, I put tap to call buttons right at the top of the website. I have request your estimate buttons, and I also put a contact form on every single page of the site. So whenever a prospect is ready to convert, they're ready to schedule an estimate or schedule that consultation with you, they know immediately how to do it and where to do it. That's really important if you're trying to boost the conversion rate of your website, because contractor websites don't always get a lot of traffic. So what we're trying to do is maximize the results that we get out of what little traffic you do receive. And by having good, strong calls to action on your website, you can make sure that you do maximize the most of that traffic and you're actually starting to get inquiries so that you can make money. So that's it for today. Everything I've just talked about, you're going to find again in detail in the companion blog post down below. Sorry for the poor lighting quality on here. I'm just battling the sun. Now I'm in the dark forest, so you can see me a little bit better now, but that's it. That's the 10 most common mistakes that I see contractors making with their website on a daily basis. And I've also included in the blog post how you can start fixing those. So hopefully you found this helpful, and we're starting to get into the end of summer towards fall, and everybody's going to want to start thinking about marketing, not for fall services, but for spring services as well. So there's no better time to get started on this stuff than right now. So if you have any questions, let me know. Hope you found the video helpful. Thanks, guys.